It's good, y'all's classic MMA. Today I'll be telling y'all why Jiri Procházka versus Carlos Ulberg will be closer than y'all think. So we got this insane main event, coming up for the vacant light heavyweight title. Jiri Procházka, the Chaos Man, always putting on crazy fights, nearly dying in there, but always coming back. Only lost to Alex Pereira twice, and then Carlos Ulberg on a 9-fight win streak. Crazy technical striker, crazy counter striker. I mean, crazy matchup, being honest. So let's break down who I think will win this fight. Starting off, why I think Jiri will win this fight. So why what makes me think Jiri could win this fight? Jiri will be able to bring intense pressure to this fight, as that's literally what he does in every fight. I mean, from all of his fights in the UFC, Uzdemir walked him down cold. Dominic Reyes, an insane counter striker himself, and Jiri just walked him down, showed him no respect, and so he found a spinning elbow. I mean, like, who else am I? His last fight against Khalil Roundtree, even in the first 2 rounds, was not was still pressuring, even though he was getting kind of bonked up. So he's gonna be able to bring insane pressure. Then, and then another reason why I think Jiri can win this fight. Ulberg has been KO'd before against Kennedy and Nzechukwu, who isn't the greatest fighter in the world, who was big and physical. Ulberg wasn't able to KO him quick, and was able to eat big shots from Ulberg, and then gassed him out in his debut. And I don't hold a ton of stock in this. It was what, like 5 years ago, and it was Ulberg's debut, so I don't hold a stupid amount of stock in it, but it's still something to look at. I mean, the dude did get bombed out cold by Kennedy and Nzechukwu. Like, come on, bro. Ulberg has Ulberg has knockout power, but not to the level of Alex Pereira, who is the only guy to ever knock out Jiri in the UFC. As Volkan Uzdemir was able to eat his shots, and so was Jan Blachowicz. I mean, the Volkan Uzdemir fight, I mean, that was kind of a low-key kind of a war. Like, Ulberg did kind of scold him for the first 2 rounds, but the third round, and Uzdemir actually started to land some big shots on Ulberg. And Uzdemir's good, but like, he's been chinned before. Jiri knocked him out. DC subbed him. Like, Uzdemir's just a gatekeeper, and he was able to make it competitive with Ulberg, arguably take a round off him. Then another fight that I want to bring up is Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz was able to stay in there, 42 years old, and I know he's pretty durable himself, and he was able to stay in there against Ulberg and arguably beat him just by with the low kicks, with the combinations on the feet, was able to arguably beat Carlos Ulberg. So then Jiri has a pretty crazy chin, honestly. This is another thing I want to bring up. Jiri has a pretty crazy chin unless he's fighting Alex Pereira, as he was able to eat Khalil Roundtree, his biggest shots, for 2 rounds. And I mean, Khalil Roundtree hits hard, man. Like, look at all the KOs. Look how many times he dropped Jamal Hill. Like, Khalil Roundtree hits like a truck. But Jiri was able to eat all of his big shots and then come up and pull off a comeback win, which is pretty insane. Then one other thing I want to bring up is Ulberg has just never been past the third round in his career. Well, Jiri has been fighting 5-rounders for over a decade. I mean, if you look at it, Yuri's been fighting 5-rounders, 10-minute rounds, and since he was in Ryzen in his 20s. And Ulberg, on the other hand, I mean, he's won 3 rounds with Jan Blachowicz, where he had to low kick at range and stuff to not gas out. 3 rounds against Volkan Uzdemir, where he lost a round, the third round. I mean, so. And on the other hand, Yuri's insane over 5 rounds. Like, his cardio's next level. Dude will just walk in there and nearly kill you over 5 rounds. I mean, look at the Roundtree fight, crazy comeback win. Look at the Uzdemir fight, the Reyes fight. I mean, just every fight Yuri's been in, he always does better as the fight progresses. The Rakic fight, like, Yuri's a madman. Now let's get into why I think Carlos Ulberg can win. Carlos Ulberg is a very high-level technical kickboxer who trains at City Kickboxing and is on a 9-fight win streak currently with 5 knockouts. So has that one-touch death power, has crazy technical striking, low kicks, counter right hooks, all of that. Then the next thing I want to bring up is he's arguably the best counter striker in the division now that Pereira's gone. Is he was able to absolutely, and I mean absolutely, cold Dominic Reyes with a jabbing right cross when he tried to close the distance. just making him look like a demon in there. I mean, Reyes runs at him, tries to close the distance, and just gets it bombed. Shows how good of counter striking Ulberg really has. Then he will be able to chop. One thing I want to bring up that will be a big advantage for him is I think he will be able to chop low kicks here, which I think will be very beneficial for him in this matchup against Jiri Procházka, as that's what led to Alex Pereira being able to finish Jiri, find the headshots in both fights, was just the low kicks, using low kicks. And Ulberg, he might be boring as dirt doing it, but he'll just sit there feint. Sometimes he can just sit there and feint and low kick like Izzy. Prime Izzy. Like he's fine sometimes just sit and feint low kicks, throw low kicks. And one thing also is he trains at City Kickboxing, which should mean his game plan in this fight should be pretty good. Is they should know how, as he's trains with guys like Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Kai France, and I have a feeling that they'll be able to cook up a game plan to exploit Yuri's low kick weakness. So I think having that good of a camp around you will help you in a title level fight. Then one other thing is Yuri's a very slow starter, which could give Ulberg the chance to find a shot and knock him out cold. I mean, early in a fight, we know Jiri is kind of trash, respectfully. Like, early in a fight, in the first round, Jiri, I mean, he's there to get jabbed up. He's there to get low kicked. I mean, Rakic fight, got his head popped back like 40 times. I mean, look at the Roundtree fight for 2 rounds even. Wasn't able to land really much until the 3rd round, which was pretty insane. So, now for who I'm picking to win this fight. Man, this is close. This is tough. Jiri has that, manic energy. Ulberg has the insane counter striking and one-shot knockout power. But I'm taking Jiri Procházka by 3rd round TKO. Now, before I get into my reasons why, this is a very close fight that Ulberg has advantages in as well, I will say. So, first of all, I think Yuri's going to be able to bring pressure to Ulberg, which is something no one has really done except for Kennedy and Jeshku, who coincidentally handed Ulberg his only loss. I think Yuri's going to walk him down. I mean, that's how Jiri fights. He's not going to care about his feints. He's not going to care about his low kicks. For better or for worse, he's just going to walk Ulberg down and bring pressure. And I think that's going to, be able to fluster Ulberg. Because, these city kickboxing guys, we found out that when they get pressured, they tend to, go back and get scared a little bit. We've seen it with Adesanya how many times at this point. Then I think Jiri will also have the chin to eat Ulberg's biggest shots. As Ulberg has crazy KO power, don't get me wrong, and his counter shots, but I think if both Uzdemir and Jan Blachowicz were able to go to a decision with him, I believe Jiri will be able to eat his biggest shots for the first 2 rounds. As Jiri has a crazy chin, unless he's fighting Alex Pereira, who literally is a glory kickboxer, one-shot death power. Jiri has a pretty insane chin. I think so. So now for what I think the main deciding factor here, I think it's cardio. As I believe Yuri's style will cause Ulberg to use a lot of energy early, trying to, use his footwork to evade Yuri's biggest shots, circling out. Circle low kick, that's going to use Ulberg's energy. We've seen whenever he's forced to expend energy, he starts to not look too good. We saw that against Volkan Oezdemir. We saw that against Kennedy and Zechku in his only loss. So, and I think it's going to cause him to slow down like he did in round 3 against Oezdemir and against Kennedy and Zechku. So for what I think happens in this fight, I think Yuri's going to... I think early in the fight, Ulberg will have a lot of success, probably win the first round, jab up Jiri, maybe rock him at some point. But I think as the fight elongates, I think Jiri will be able to, go around, he'll be able to he'll be able to, just be in Ulberg's face essentially. I mean, Ulberg's gonna have to be forced to use a lot of his footwork to circle out, try to evade the big shots, use a lot of his cardio. Then I think in the 3rd round, Jiri will back him up to the fence. Ulberg will be tired, and then he'll just land a nasty combo, put him out cold, and win the belt. So, anyways, y'all, that's my video for today. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all think Yuri's gonna win this? Y'all think Ulberg's gonna win this? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.